Grace? Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Cell phone charger down here if you need one.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Looks like we're heading into close to downtown.
Yes. Yeah, like Lincoln Park.
All right. Off to do something fun, enjoy this nice weather?
No, not really. Going to tour an apartment.
Oh, okay.
I was at a bridal shower earlier out here, so that's what I was here for.
You're looking to get out of the suburbs. Good for you.
Well, I live in Lincoln Park.
Okay.
But I'm from out here, so which is why I was at a bridal shower out here. Looking to just hop around in the city.
Sure, no, and Lincoln Park's got such a great, a ton of cool spots out there.
Yeah.
There's always cool little neighborhoods and areas to go to.
Yeah, it's awesome, and there's always fun stuff opening.
Yeah,
fun stuff going on.
Exactly. I moved out to Berwyn, which is just outside of the city. In February. But before that, I was in Edgewater.
Yeah, which Edgewater's great.
I love Edgewater.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna move back. I told my tenants, I was like, I can't do this. You guys gotta go.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, I was just like, there's no spices out here.
You're like, I'm missing being in the action.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I'm Mexican, so I'm big on food. I'm very much and just the suburbs just don't have
it's so different compared to the city food wise. And it's you can just get anywhere. You from Lincoln Park, but also Edgewater too. You could just get anywhere. Which is nice. So if you want to taste for anything, you're right there.
Yes. Yeah, it's so diverse. We've got the Asian Argyles.
Yeah. 100%.
Ethiopian food. Yeah. And I was just learning about that area, uptown area was really big on Black representation, queer representation, and in the 70s after the Vietnam War, so it became this cultural hub.
100%, which is an awesome place to live, to get to experience it all.
Exactly. Yeah, and then just anywhere on the lake, 10 minutes away.
That's what I was going to say. You're also right on the lake, which is so awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So what's the new place, new apartment?
It's a new apartment. We're looking kind of Wicker Park-ish, which is great, but it just is more pricing than anything. Because we live in Lincoln Park right now, and Lincoln Park is fabulous. We both love it, but it's just so expensive.
Yeah.
And Wicker Park is still so expensive, just a little bit more affordable.
Yeah.
And just more on the market.
Sure, yeah. And again, I love Wicker Park. I'm always there for walking.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff there. I'm trying to think where, if you want to get, might be a little more affordable, is Garfield Park, right next to Logan.
Oh, yeah.
Garfield Park was don't go there unless you want to get shot or get heroin.
Yeah, but now it's
exactly. Yeah. It's picking up. It's about to be the next spot. They're putting a ton of money in. I'm seeing a lot of people are investing in it.
Yeah.
I had friends that was I had a little money to throw down, and I was like, where's a house? Where are people buying it? They're like, Garfield Park.
100%.
Yeah, so in 5 years, it's going to be the next Wicker.
Yeah, I feel the hard part is just the commuting piece.
Yes.
I feel I don't have a car, so it makes it just so, and I work in the Loop.
Okay.
And it makes it just so complicated to commute, depending on what neighborhood you're in.
Yes, that is a great point. Does it have the proper
and
trains? And do you want to?
And how close can you get to the actual train?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, again, I was very lucky in Edgewater. I was right there on the red line, the block.
Which is perfect.
Right there, I can get in that.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So that is something.
Yeah.
I'm very spoiled.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
And my partner has a car, but he commutes at 6 a.m., so doesn't really work for me getting to work.
You're trying to get that sleep in.
Yes, exactly.
6 a.m. You gotta wake up at 4:30 anyway.
Yeah, it's early.
Oh, so he goes to bed at 7.
Yeah, so early, and I'm on the opposite schedule. I don't start work until 10 and work until 7.
Yeah.
So it's we're complete. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm I am not going to work at 6:30 when he is.
So you're working for a West Coast company?
Well,
you go to the office though.
Yeah, I am a therapist, so that's just like my hours of when people want to meet.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I have like a lot of after work hours.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, especially because I mean, people they gotta go to work and then they do the therapy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I when I'm not doing this, my 9 to 5, I work in infrastructure cloud, like cloud infrastructure technology stuff. But it's 9 to 5, and my last job they were in West Coast, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna sleep till 8 a.m.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's awesome. Yeah. I don't have to be in till later.
Yeah. Now this other place I'm at, they're in Wisconsin, and they're like, we're gonna need you on
yeah, like 8 a.m. on the dot. Yeah. Oh, makes for an early wake up.
Yeah, I was like adjust my whole schedule, and then you know what I'm doing now is like I'm not doing any more daylight savings.
Yeah,
I'm just not doing it. Next year's is like I'm either gonna be an hour late or you can change the meeting. It's not.
And the daylight savings is insane because there's no point in it anymore, but we're all still doing it.
We keep voting on it, and for some reason, people keep still doing it. I'm just like,
but it's also like just making everybody miserable because there's less light in the day.
Yeah, specifically the spring forward one, where you lose an hour.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Go up like 25% that day. Like
it's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. Why? Why are we doing this?
No, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it don't make any sense.
And nobody wants more winter.
Right?
More dark, more, yeah.
It's not one.
No, definitely not.
One of the many lists of things we need to fix around.
Oh, 100%.
I guess that's a great question I would ask you, like as a therapist. I would wonder, like, how often is it like the problem, like, everything's on fire and there's just not enough money for everything?
All the time, except I will say I'm an eating disorder therapist, so I have like a very specific niche, so it's very, but I will say I'm talking about it at least like 4 hours a day. I'm talking about just like the world being on fire.
Sure, I guess, and I imagine there's probably a lot of triggers for a lot of
for sure.
Just like what's going on.
Yeah, it just feels like everything's a mess and there's no point in anything.
Wow, 100%.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you kind of specialize in eating disorders?
Yeah.
And you just kind of wanted to kind of touch home, or did you find?
I actually just really wanted to work with like adolescent and young adult females, and then when I was graduating grad school, I had to do an internship or like a practicum, and that I found like an eating disorder practice that specializes in like acute eating disorders, and it felt like the perfect place because it was like the clientele I wanted to work with. Yeah. Just like a certain niche of it. And so then I like kind of fell into it.
Sure. Okay. And then now you're like, hey, am I like what I'm doing?
Yeah. And I've done it for so long. I have like expertise in it. So
that's cool.
Easy to continue.
That's pretty cool. And I think, and people really don't look at the idea of like that. Eating disorders, right? Disordered eating kind of falls under the same window. You can overeat, undereat. Yeah, exactly.
It's like all across the board, just in a lot of different ways. And it's kind of fun because I get to do a little bit of everything with it. And of course, eating disorders, but eating disorders are so like coexisting with everything else, which it makes me like, I feel like more well-rounded.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And then you get all the fun new ones of like, what was it? Veganism was the new disorder.
Yeah.
Now it's fasting.
100%. It's always something new. The GLP-1s, it's, always something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess, so like, is GLP-1s, how does that work for you? Because for a lot of people, it's life-saving. It's getting
for a lot of people, it's great. For a lot of people, it's like not so great. It really like right now what we're seeing is there's a lot of doctors that are prescribing them with not a lot of medical oversight, or people are getting like the compounded version online with no medical oversight. And the problem with GLP-1s is really what it's doing is decreasing hunger cues. So it's allowing people to just not eat, and even the hunger cues aren't necessarily like, the lack of hunger cues aren't necessarily connected to the lack of need for nutrition. So a lot of people just aren't eating enough and losing like unhealthy weight. Like a lot of lean muscle mass, things like that. And it's more like on the side of starvation than it is like actually helpful.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I hadn't even really realized it, but somebody who looks in a mirror and sees somebody who's overweight is going to look at something like this. It's exactly how to fix their
problem. Exactly.
And that's exactly the concern. Oh yikes! Yeah, that's
or even people who are overweight. Like there is like this idea of like not a right way to do it, but like there is like a more healthy way of losing weight.
Oh, for sure.
Because you can fall into refeeding syndrome, whether you're, you know, overweight, underweight, you know, like quote unquote like typical weight.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of just medical complications with it, regardless. That like. It creates a lot of nuance.
Yes. Yeah, the nuance is not looked into if your doctor is some random internet website.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just giving you this.
Or even like there's a lot of like fat phobia in the medical community. So a lot of doctors, like instead of actually doing their due diligence, will just be like, oh, you know, you're overweight. Have you thought about going on a GLP-1? Let me just prescribe you one without doing like the adequate maybe monitoring, especially because a lot of doctors just aren't well versed in eating disorders.
Oh yeah, yeah, and like you said, the fat phobia. It's like I couldn't help but notice you were fat. You didn't have cancer. Try being less fat.
Maybe it would help. Yeah, like crazy.
Yeah, that's no good. Yeah, so that definitely adds to it. It's like, yeah, I mean, I definitely got into really strange eating. Obviously, I was like a big guy. I'm 100 pounds less than I was, and it's like, well, I'm not an ideal weight. But I was at the point where I was like obsessing everything. Everything I was eating, creating diet plans. And
well, and then you get into the like aspect of like restricting and then binging, and which is really hard to get out of, and it just gets really complicated.
Oh yeah,
I think there's a lot of like diet thrown at everybody, and then the diet just messes everybody up more.
Yes, yeah. I think it was orthorexia was that version of like, here you can control everything. You can eat, but it's like you gotta and then until it got to the point where I was just like, I just have anxiety thinking about food.
100%, it's just constant.
Oh yeah, it just becomes that noise.
Yeah, the food noise.
That's interesting. So how long have you been doing it?
That's a really good question. I think like 4 years now, I want to say.
Nice, 4 years and you got expert already. Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that I like kind of fell into this niche like at the absolute beginning of my career. But yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it is now is really the time. I think people are starting to look at food and look at health and look at nutrition.
Yeah.
You know, the aspect of are we, you know, should we be saying here's Barbie and here's He-Man?
100%. There's so much more discourse about it now than there ever has been. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I really like it. And it definitely keeps me on my toes, which is always nice.
Yeah, just to have something to learn. What was something I would say that like surprised you, where you're like, oh, I didn't think this is something that I would have thought was like with an exact specific disordered eating?
That's a really good question. Let me think. I feel like it's a hard question because I'm just in it so much that like the pieces click, but I guess a big part of it is just like the connection between like trauma and OCD and eating disorders.
Oh yeah. Okay.
On any side of it.
Sure.
And just like how connected it is to emotion.
Right. Oh yeah.
On any side of it.
Yeah, right. And you know, I've often heard that like anorexic and obese, it's the same eating disorder. It's how is it displaying itself? How is it playing out?
Yeah, I talk about it a lot as like a iceberg. Like the behaviors are above the water, and then there's so much underneath the water, and a lot of time what's underneath the water is the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like kind of above the water that makes it feel different.
Sure, it's like what's showing.
Yeah.
Showing, right?
Yeah.
And you know, and then I've heard like, you know, obesity. They say like food addiction is the only addiction that shows up, that you can see it walking around with the person, but it's like it's still addictions, it's still mental health. It's still stuff, and you're saying like,
when everything like that is really just like a way of coping.
Yeah,
it's just coping differently.
Exactly. Yeah. I you know, in my mental health and all that stuff, I went a lot of the psychedelics route.
Yeah.
And I found, like, because, you know, again, I was really fat as a kid, and it was like, what was I numbing? What was I eating?
Exactly.
And that's what really got the food noise, that monster remedy that always to just be quiet, to be like, hey, you're okay, you're not needing to soothe, you're not needing to cover anything.
100%, and like a lot of schema about like emotions and just like dealing with distress and distress tolerance and emotional regulation and all those things.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because now in like mainstream mental health, psychedelics are becoming like a lot more, like now a lot of it's becoming a lot more of a thing, like the ketamine treatment, which is really cool.
Yeah, right. I think they're wildly beneficial. That How to Change Your Mind by Mark right? Like Paul and great book. It talks about exactly that, and it really was beneficial. Like, because I was able to get to the root of it. Of like, I did a very strong dose of mushrooms, and I went back to like my childhood, and I was in this room, and I opened the door, and I saw these words. It just said, "No one cares. You don't matter. You think people are comfortable. Don't care." And I just brought that with me, and I was medicating and milking that fear of you don't belong here, you gotta go away, But I had to be at school, I had to be in places, I had to be in interaction, so you're medicating.
You're trying to like,
did not feel that thing.
You're trying to cope with like all of these core beliefs that you have about yourself.
Right? Yeah, ones that like I didn't even know. I went all through high school, all through elementary school.
And a lot of like disordered eating, especially in guys, goes so unnoticed or so unacknowledged, and so much of it is core beliefs. So that's a lot of the work I do, is really like navigating those core beliefs and like how we let go of them, how we move forward from them, how we live our lives with them, and how we use other things to cope, because food can be great, but it also, like, any thing that's our only coping skill is going to become unhelpful at some point.
Exactly. That's such a great one. This is your only way to cope.
Yeah. Food isn't a bad way to cope. Everybody copes with food. It's just like, is that your only way of coping?
Exactly. All you have is a hammer, everything's a nail.
It's the same thing with like drinking, right? Like sometimes everybody has a bad day and wants to have a glass of wine, but if it's the only thing that you can do on your bad day that helps you cope with it, like that becomes the problem.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I was reading like also like you said, where it just comes with trauma. Like I was reading a lot of people with eating disorders, like really high, like 60% have some sort of sexual abuse or child abuse. It's like, hey, these things are all coming together. Guess what? Alcohol is 60%, heroin addict 60%. 100%.
It's all like so coinciding.
Exactly. It's like, how are we dealing with it? How are we numbing it? How are we processing it or not? Yeah, that's really it. Yeah, I think, have you read like Gabor Mate or read any of this stuff, like The Myth of Normal, Childhood Development, a lot of stuff that he talks about is addiction therapy. And early childhood development, like the first 3 years of life, he says like this is where people create
100%
comfort, a lot of that feeling like they're okay, and making those conclusions. You don't even realize when you're a baby. You don't even realize this is things you come up with. So that's
100%. And so much of what I find is like not even necessarily like big trauma, but like chronic trauma or like complex trauma of like being neglected or like emotionally ignored or like all these things that just create a sense of self that like doesn't have the distress or emotional regulation.
Exactly. It's like, well, what did you come up with? Well, people want me around. I'm no good. I might as well.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, well, create that since you were this, and this is your structure, and how do you?
100%. It's hard to see a different world when like that's the world you live in.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's pretty So is the type of work you do like one-on-one with somebody?
Yeah, I do one-on-one, and then I also do like one group a week.
Okay.
Yeah, which is fun. It switches it up a little. I used to do like probably 60% groups, 40% one-on-one, and then last year I switched to doing like pretty much only one-on-one.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you like that kind of a little more, being able to dig in with one person and really tackle
Yeah, it's just different. What I was doing before was a lot of like really severe cases, and so it was a lot of clients that were doing like not somewhere between like 9 and 40 hours of treatment a week.
Oh wow.
And now it's a lot of people that are like only 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week. So it's very different.
Yeah. Yeah, because you mentioned it was acute, so somebody something really dangerous happened.
Yeah, so now I like what I'm doing more now, but I really like groups. I just like groups that are a little less acute.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just something like a little more maintenance, a little more. Hey, we're all here to kind of deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like there's a magic of like people connecting over like shared experiences without needing to be like pushed to connect.
Yes. Yeah. And like you said, there is a magic to it. There is a magic. Like, hey, we are doing it. We're going through it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not alone. I think that's a lot of the nature. Like you said, people are isolated from their family. They grew up alone. They grew up neglected. So they're missing all of those things.
Yeah, 100%. And there's a lot of shame and guilt around it, a lot of like secrecy, hiding, all that stuff. So being able to like share it, talk about it openly with other people who understand is like a really cool experience to be a part of.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. And that's, like, the thing I always think about, like, this whole society on fire is like, we have more in common with each other than we don't. Like, everybody's going through their own things, their own struggles.
100%.
We're all so isolated, trying to make our ends meet and worry about our bills and worry about all that.
We all want a better world, just our version of getting there is like so different.
Yes, yeah,
or at least I hope. We all want a better world. Sometimes I question it.
Right? I think most people do.
I agree. 100%.
Sometimes their version of a better world is my world is better.
Yeah.
I'm living great. That means everything is great.
Yeah.
That's where we get a lot of the self-centeredness.
Yeah.
I always wonder, because I do this, I get to talk to therapists a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What would do you have anything of like, not free therapy, but like something you recommend, like a way to approach going about your day with that in mind? Have you found that affects your thought processes as someone dealing with disordered eating? Do you see that in your day-to-day, and how does that affect you?
I feel like it's so complicated. I feel like in general, just my general thoughts of like moving through the world for anybody would be like approaching everything with curiosity, with like a gentle approach of, I feel like so much of mental health, of like anxiety, depression, disordered eating, any of that like is rooted in shame, and our like internal dialogue about ourselves and others. And so just trying to like catch ourselves and approach things with curiosity and like a gentleness is a lot of the time my thoughts, especially when we think of like little kids living such carefree lives, and a lot of times it's because they're not putting like judgment and shame onto things. They're just like experiencing it.
Yeah, you're right. It is new. It is a new thing. They don't have any.
Yeah, and so much of like what we do, we like to categorize into like past experiences. But if we can like take a step back and take that as information instead of like the whole picture, sometimes it can be helpful.
Absolutely. That's such a great point. Like we see things through our eyes.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. But it's like, you just have your own perspective. There's 1,000 others.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes our own immediate perspective isn't the perspective that's going to serve us.
Yeah. I think that's such a great point. Sometimes it's not the one that's going to serve us. In fact, the person going through it all is probably the last person to come up with the solution.
Yeah.
Outside of it, somewhere else.
100%.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That and values. I feel like action-based values of like what are my top 3 things that are most important to me, or my top 5 things that I really want to live my life by and make decisions out of, and like is gonna bring me to like not necessarily like a happy life, but a meaningful life.
Sure, yeah.
Is usually like also a lot of like my thoughts on just like general.
Yeah, no, action-based values, right?
Yeah.
So that's the idea of like, what is it you do that
you
value, that matters, that you, how are you contributing? Yeah, and that's honestly like what I'm doing here. I connect with people while I drive, but also I'm taking them where they need to go. I'm being service. I'm taking them where they need to go.
100%.
Yeah, so like that's something I find a lot of value. But
yeah,
I get what you mean. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. That's a lot to marinate on.
Yeah, 100%.
How was the bridal shop?
It was good. It was for my cousin's fiance, so that's always fun.
Your cousin and their fiance. How long are they going to make it? Do you think?
I think they're gonna make it.
They're gonna make it.
They like really. They've been together 4 years, which is obviously not like so many in the grand scheme of things, but they really have a lot of love and care for each other, and show up for each other.
Sure, that's really important.
Very well.
And I think, they went 4 years. Together for 4 years.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
100%, and it hasn't been like a necessarily easy 4 years in terms of just like life, what life is thrown at them. So we'll see, but I'm feeling pretty good about it.
That's good. Yeah, and that's the thing you got to do. Like, you got to go through a little bit of hardship in life. You got to like hanging out with stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Before you pick a partner. Stuff.
Yeah, you just have to like build a life together and experience life.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. How about you been with your partner in the place with?
We're actually have not lived together yet, so we this will be our first.
Okay.
Our first place together.
Ooh, fun.
Yes. So.
How'd you two meet?
We actually met at Hinge.
Hinge. That's the one I hear is
all the time.
That's
the one,
the highest marriages come off of Hinge.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like it's what, like, in the last 10 years, what everybody's been on.
Right.
Which is what helps.
Yeah, I think that has something. Yeah, it seems more. Because people don't want to do the Tinder thing.
No, exactly.
Yeah. But I got two fun facts. One, Hinge is owned by Harmony Corporation, which owns Tinder, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, eHarmony.
Oh, wow.
And Hinge.
So they own everything.
If they work, it's Harmony Corp.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
The other cool fun statistic I learned is that all dating apps are equally as effective, regardless of algorithm, as pairing people up at random.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's just meeting someone that actually does it.
And I feel like that's so much what it is it's just like meeting people, getting to know people, learning about yourself, learning about other people, and like getting yourself out there.
Exactly. It's the mix of pheromones, the mix of the person.
Yeah.
Do you like hanging out? Do you like being around them? Do you like
100%? Do you have the same values? Yeah. Like, do you enjoy each other's company? Do you have a similar sense of humor?
Yeah, exactly. And that's really it. Because like that's what they said. Like Tinder, like a lot of people were like, we were gonna hook up. We've been married 6 years now.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just the thing. It's like, it's just the mix is what it is.
It's
people at random. So I'm gonna start my own random dating app.
Yeah.
Go out.
Why not just go out and meet each other?
No. Do it.
That's so funny. Yeah, I feel like well, my thing is so like it just feels like so many people are so worried and have so much anxiety about doing the wrong thing, taking the wrong step, saying the wrong thing. And it's kind of created this like atmosphere of like, I have to be online with somebody who like equally is reaching out to me as I am to them.
Right. all these rules and
rather than like taking a first step at like a bar or mutual friends or anything like that.
Yeah, and that really is a lot of it. Yeah, it's like they don't want the rejection, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's like the fear of what's going to happen if it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Versus if it's like a total stranger and you're not in the same bar and like don't have to ever see them face to face, there's less fear about like if it'll go well or not. Exactly. For better and worse.
For better and worse. But then, you get guys like me though, where like I've been on every dating app, and some of them were websites. We're talking back in 2007 and stuff. So I notice a lot of faces repeat.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, hey, you've had the same pictures for 6 years.
You're like, I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah. That's a good thing we didn't match. But yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
But then again, I imagine if you go to the bar, you probably just see the same people.
Yeah, 100%. Depending on like what scene you're in, what bars you're going to.
And that's it. It's like, did you sign into Hinge or did you sign into Tinder?
100%.
That's really all it is. Which bar did you go into that day?
And did you actually go up and talk to people?
Exactly, and that's really the thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
And that's like kind of what I was trying to get at is like nobody wants to like put themselves out there and take that chance.
Exactly.
Which is fine. It's so hard.
I get it. Yeah, and again, like I know a lot of guys are scared because there's like, well, you can be labeled a creep.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm a big dude. I'm 6'3", so like.
So you're like, I don't want to like.
I don't want you to think I'm here to like collect money or something.
Yeah.
Like it's So I kind of get it, but then again, I'm like, I'm lucky. I'm a comedian when I'm not doing this, so I get to go and be funny, and then people kind of maybe more likely to approach me. So
100%.
Yeah, but. Yeah,
there's this like level of like in a way kind of getting to know you before they like approach you.
Exactly, but then the other thing is like, aren't people not even drinking anymore? Like, isn't the sale of alcohol has gone down? Like
the sale of alcohol has gone down so much, which is not me, but I am not a part of that statistic. But some people apparently are.
You're keeping an industry afloat.
Yeah, I'm keeping for sure. I'm keeping like the white wine industry afloat.
Oh, that's fun. Well, I'm from wine country. My people thank you. My parents, grandparents, really appreciate it. But yeah, no, that's hilarious. So yeah, and then I wonder, like, okay, if bars are starting to close down, then where do people meet?
Yeah,
where are they gonna go? I do think there's a venue for it that has to be done in a way that's safe, because obviously there's going to be creeps that know if there's going to be girls there, there's going to be creeps there.
100%.
So how to create a scenario where people can interact, intermingle in a way of like, hey, let's meet, and see if there's something here, and then go from there. I was watching this video in Thailand. There's this park that if you're wearing black, it means you want to be approached.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
That could work. That's to a degree, like a green flag, right? Okay, approach. So I think we can do something like that. It might be doable after the inevitable collapse of American society.
Of course. And as we're building back up, we have some opportunities.
Yeah, so we get a dating app. I'm gonna get a dating bar.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good.
Perfect.
I'll still be very single, but
I always say like before I like met my boyfriend, I always say like I feel like I would have killed it at. Like, I wish that speed dating was more of a thing, because I feel like I would have killed it at speed dating and had a great time no matter who I was talking to.
Yes. See, you just have the personality for it.
100%.
Yeah. So I did speed dating here in Chicago. It was Tantra speed dating. Though.
Okay.
So it wasn't just speed dating where you have a conversation. We're doing, like, tantric breathing.
Oh, okay.
And, like, hanging out, and, like, they give you, like, a list of questions.
Yeah.
So, and it was fun. Like you said, it's like, I have fun in whatever thing I'm doing, I'm going to have fun.
I'm having fun. I can't guarantee the other person is having fun.
Like, if you think I'm funny, you're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
But if I'm not funny to you, I'm sorry.
Then it's, like, going to be a really weird experience. Yeah.
Then I will still laugh at you.
Yeah. I'm still going to have fun. It's just a weird experience for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I always would say to my friends. They'd always be like, oh, how was your date? And I'd be like, well, dinner and a show as always, but like I was the show.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah. That's my approach to dating. I'm just like, look, I'm gonna put on a show. I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna have fun no matter what.
Yes.
Maybe I'll have fun with the other person. Maybe I'll have fun in spite of the other person.
Yes.
We don't know.
Yeah, there's a great book I had read called "I Used to Be a Miserable Fuck,"
Mm-hmm.
and it was a guy called the Angry Therapist, where he's just going through divorce and he's
Yeah.
talking about process emotion. He said he took I think a year off of dating, which I did for free. But anyways, he took a year off. But then after that, his approach was how am I in this scenario? In this date, who am I with this person?
Yeah.
How do I feel with it? And that changed my whole approach on dating. I'm like, look, I'm bringing my thing. I'm going to do my thing.
100%. And like, is this other person going to match that, or are they not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had so many experiences where I just dated like boring guys that just like were not getting it.
Oh no.
And then I went on a date with my partner, and we went and got bagels, and which was like a 10 a.m. Sunday date, which I like was absolutely like, I don't want to fucking do this. and it actually is because I had bagels in my Hinge profile.
Oh.
I had like a prompt about bagels. And so he like asked me to bagel day, and I was like, God, I don't want to fucking do this. And we go, and like one of the first questions I asked him was like, it randomly came up, was like, does he believe in aliens?
Okay.
And he just like ran with it.
Really?
And we had like a 2-hour conversation about like aliens, ghosts, like all kinds of things like that. Yeah. And it was like asking questions, so curious, like having an opinion, like
Absolutely.
Just being funny about it. And I was like, okay, finally somebody that like can run with it.
Yes,
can like who gets it, who like can have fun.
Yes, no, exactly. That's in improv, right? It's A to C, not A to B, right?
Yeah.
A, B, C is it coming back. Do they kick it back to you?
Yes.
Get with it.
Exactly.
C, and that's, but that's more of like the conversation flow. You two just happen to be able to flow on a conversation. I am curious though. So aliens, where are we at? How do you
I feel like they're 100% real. There's no way. The universe is so expansive. There's no way we're the only.
No way.
Life.
Absolutely. 100% agree. 100% agree. Are you familiar with the Fermi paradox?
No.
So the Fermi paradox, and this is why like this makes a lot of sense to me, is that the universe is actually so massive, so massive, that and everything is expanding constantly. So these planets that are all burnt out with nothing on them, just we're not in a livable range when we've only had life on planet Earth. Like Earth is 3 billion years. Yeah. But we've only had life on here for like 560 million.
100%.
So it's only livable from that time. And so other planets might have had life on them, whole society.
Yeah, or will have life on them in whole societies. Yeah. We just like aren't in a time frame where we can see that, know that.
Exactly. And those societies have been so far away, they never came anywhere near planet Earth.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And so that's like one of the questions I asked is, do you think aliens have ever visited humans before? And then that leads me to the Fermi paradox statement. Yeah. That other question. So then the other thing I go is ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts?
I feel like I go back and forth, but I feel like there's a likelihood that there is like, I mean, people are like sentient beings, like that there is an aspect of that just doesn't go away.
Sure.
And I don't know if they are as we think they are, but I do think there's an aspect of like not our consciousness, but like our like our soul doesn't necessarily just like evaporate.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, because it's an energy, whatever that energy consciousness is the thing that will continue.
Yeah, exactly.
So then ghost aliens.
And I think it's just like fun to I think it's just like fun to engage with.
I think so. So then I wonder if aliens are a thing and ghosts are a thing. Ghost aliens, are those a thing?
That's a really good question. And my only thought is it must be.
Must be.
It must be.
Must be.
You know? Yeah. That's the whole thing. If it's happening on Earth, if I believe it's happening on Earth, I have to believe it's happening everywhere else too.
It makes the most sense. It could not be that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow, what a great question. That I've never thought about that before.
Cool.
I feel like it has to. No, but I do think sometimes it's like just leaning into the fun of like, I hope ghosts are real. That makes like psychics and mediums and all that kind of stuff a lot more fun.
Absolutely. If they can get into those things. If they are touching those
things. Exactly.
Because if not, then they're just crazy.
Yeah. So well, then they're just like kind of scammers.
Yeah.
Because they know for sure if people are coming through them or not.
Right. But then there's also like, are you familiar with shared delusion, like the phenomena of shared delusion?
Oh yeah.
Right, so there's a certain degree, I think, of that going on.
For sure.
Plus, like, I was reading a lot with, like, intuits, like tarot card readers.
Yeah.
They are intuiting people because they come from a really traumatic childhood where you have to be able to read breath, and read movement, and they can take those cards and they don't even know that they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
They just think, well, I have this idea about
100%. I'm just picking up on this idea.
Yeah, but it's like, actually, they're just a little tense. They're a little hedged up, and you remember what that was like when somebody had this as a problem, and you kind of present it. So it's like, it could go one way or the other.
100%.
My thing is, like, I was in a cult for like a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I tell people, like, I want to believe, but in order to get out of the cult, I very much had to become like a staunch, like,
100%. This is what I believe. This is what I don't believe.
Yeah, you have to prove it 10,000%.
Yeah.
I won't believe it because I really, really want to believe everything.
No, 100%. Well, can I ask what was?
Yeah, I was in the Church of Scientology.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay.
From 16 to 30 something.
Wow. How'd you find yourself there?
I had a friend in middle school. It's cool because I'm actually going to be interviewed about being in Scientology, so it's good I'm remembering. So I had a friend in middle school. His family were all Scientologists.
Wow.
And I was in juvenile hall, and I started reading a book about like the occult and about witchcraft and about like all this spirituality. And I was like, I'm curious about different spiritualities. So
for sure.
And I was talking to him about it, and he was like, well, I have my own belief system I really like. And I was like, what is that? So then he explained to me all this stuff in Scientology that they don't normally tell you. And I was like, oh, that makes actually I like that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Again, I was an uneducated high school kid, so.
Yeah, so, and you were like probably seeking something that like helped you understand the world a little bit and feel like there was a purpose and meaning and all of that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And then, of course, the Scientology tells you, well, you're special.
Yeah.
You're special, you're unique, you're interesting. Every person is this amazing entity.
Yeah.
You just got to
and it's exactly what you want and are looking for and all those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, and again, I was, I did a lot of drugs as a teenager.
Yeah.
And so I did the Scientology detox program.
Yeah.
And it's sauna, vitamins, and water, and like nutrition. Well, anybody who does sauna 4 hours a day, takes a fistful of vitamins, and eats a salad, they're going to feel great after.
Yeah, 100%.
So for years, I was like, I don't know what that program did. It was amazing. I was like, yeah. Dude,
and then they're telling you, like, it's because of us. It's because of Scientology, all this stuff. Exactly. It's because you have this, like, new belief system.
Yeah, why don't you do this new course? Okay, cool. I did this new course. You get some practice. You got some benefit. Great. Okay, on next, right? And it was just boom, boom, boom. So then I started working for them out in San Francisco for a little while, and that's where I really got to see, like, oh, these people are not who they say they were. All the people that I'm working with, I got to like, and Scientology compiles blackmail information with their auditing, right? Therapy sessions they do. Well, one of my jobs when I first got there, because they were getting ready to move from one building to another, was to go through and summarize all of their blackmail reports. So I'm over here, like, reading, like...
You're like, oh, okay.
Pastors, yeah, like, these, like, pastors and therapists and all these people that are supposed to be all up on high, but it's like, well, here's, like, porn that they watched, here's stuff that they feel guilty about, everything that they feel guilty about, I get to read and summarize from all these people. Man, I'm 18 years old, like, reading about 40, 15, 16-year-olds.
Yeah, and you're like...
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just like, all right, that can't be good. And then you just kind of see it more. And after...
It kind of breaks down that, like, facade.
After a couple of years of that, I, like, left staff, but I was like, I believe in Scientology, and L. Ron Hubbard, but the churches, I don't like what they're doing.
Yeah, you don't like the organization.
Yeah. And then I watched the Leah Remini videos, and she was just like, L. Ron Hubbard is a full-on sociopath.
Yeah.
Fully narcissistic. Like here's every lie that he told, that because you believe his word is gospel.
100%.
It's if you
and it's easier to say as you're leaving and been like brainwashed for all this time to say like, I don't agree with the organization, but like this belief system still has merit. I care about. I believe in.
Yes, exactly. And then after that, after really realizing like, oh, he's a liar. Everything he says is a lie. This is all completely dishonest. And then I went through the fundamental thing, and this is a conversation I had with my buddy, because I realized like the fundamental thing to Scientology, and I'll explain it, is auditing, right? And that's their version of pastoral regressive therapy. Mm-hmm. And their belief is when you're the person being audited, have a chain of all of your memories that you carry with you that goes back past lives.
Yeah.
And you return to that moment where that occurred, like you were there, and it's a moment of pain, discomfort, anguish, or whatever, and you relive that moment and recreate that moment. So they ask you, tell me this thing and tell me any details. You go, we're walking, we're doing this. And you rebuild it, and they go, once you've fully recreated that memory, because two things cannot exist in the same space and time in the physical universe, that negative emotion goes away, and now all you have is the positive emotion.
Yeah.
And you've healed yourself in that thing. And I was like, oh, I don't believe that at all.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to my friend, and I gave him that whole rundown. And I go, that's audited. And he goes, yeah, man, isn't that cool? It's so simple. I go, I've never said that out loud. I don't believe that at all. That's 100% bullshit.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay. Well, everybody has their own idea. It's like,
yeah.
This is.
You're like, actually, no, I think this,
This is all bullshit. Yeah. I was like 32, 33 when I was like, this is.
You're like, okay, never mind.
Yeah. Turns out I got duped. Yeah.
But it is like one of those things that I think there's so much people who don't understand it, but so much shame on it of like, how could you get duped? I never fall into any of this kind of stuff, but it's also this aspect of like, you're looking so deeply for meaning and you're going to find meaning anywhere. And like, it's the same thing of like, something like 80% of the world is religious. And like, none of us know for sure. Like, if we all die and there's one true religion and somebody got it right, that means everybody else was duped.
Right, exactly. And see, we're talking about aliens and all this stuff. The thing I liked about Scientology is it was the one religion that was not Earth-centric.
Yeah.
All these other religions are like, Earth is the center of the universe.
Yeah.
Earth is what started, God comes about. But Scientology is like, well, you've been around for trillions of years. You have a whole history that spanned throughout the entire universe. And you just so happen to be here because of all this messed up stuff that occurred.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm like, that makes more sense than all this other stuff because I know we have an infinite universe. I know we have a massive universe. So this doesn't make none of those made sense to me.
100%.
And that's really how they got me. I was like, oh yeah, this makes the most sense. And then their training and their therapies is like, these are practical things. You measure, you take a test and all that stuff. But if I take an IQ test 5 times, I'm going to get a better score on a 5th one.
100%, because you're understanding like the test and how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't think that because you're an 18-year-old high school kid who did a lot of drugs in high school.
Yeah, so you're not like, you don't have that forward thinking of making those connections.
Right.
And like, even without doing drugs, like what 18-year-old in high school is.
None. And that's like, and that was the thing I realized after I got out. I was like, I never knew a single Scientologist with a college degree.
Yeah.
Not a single one. Most of them didn't even finish high school. So this is, and that's where they get the ones that are like, well, my parents were Scientologists, so then they became Scientologists. So, see, that's the indoctrination pathway.
100%. You never know anything else outside of that, so it just feels true.
Yeah, I actually might go to the, they just opened up a new one here. And I'm probably going to go to like mess with them a little bit.
Yeah. Because
somebody I used to work with in San Francisco is here.
It works at this one.
And they're not even working there. They were sent out anyways. But this was, I think, 20 years ago when I worked there. And like, I don't look like that at all because I'm much older. I got a lot more gray hair. Yeah. So I want to see if they recognize me.
100%. Just like putting some feelers out.
To see if you even know me. Because that's the thing, they say Scientology comes after you, they chase you, they harass everybody you know. Everybody that knew me, that I really knew and interacted with, they all either got ostracized themselves, left Scientology, or they're in the brainwashing center or whatever now. So I slipped under the cracks. Nobody even remembers me.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, nobody's after me. Nobody's bothering me. Nobody's talking to my family. So I kind of snooped in, snuck in, but.
And it's crazy because it's not like you're like Lisa Remney, trying to have all this notoriety and trying to
take them out.
Spread,
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to hop on YouTube. We'll see.
Who knows?
There was for a while, it was pretty big where there were YouTube channels that would just go out and stop the recruiters in Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, I've seen some of those videos.
And it got pretty profitable for a little while.
Yeah.
Pretty profitable for a little while. People seem to have lost the attention on it, but you know,
because I feel like everybody's curious about it.
Yeah, and it's because they're trying to get the advertising out there. So the more people that go out there and go, no, this is just a cult. This is dumb. Don't bother. Then it works.
Yeah. What always gets me, like their cruise ship that they have.
Yeah, that doesn't work anymore. That nobody goes on.
Oh, it doesn't work anymore.
They docked it. They docked it because it needs repairs, and they don't have the money for repairs.
Wow. That whole thing was like everything that I've learned about that, them having a cruise ship and having all these people that sign these like
billion-year contracts.
Yeah, to like live on this cruise ship and work is nuts.
Oh yeah. I could not sign a billion-year contract. They took LSD.
So that like does that disqualify you, or like that just like the thought of it? You're like,
it disqualifies. If
wow.
you take LSD or any psychiatric medications for long periods of time, you are not qualified to join the Sea Organization, which is the billion-year contract.
Wow.
Yeah, but
I wonder why.
I figured it out actually. This is a cool fact about LSD and psilocybin mushrooms is that the hallucinations you get from those drugs are not from the drugs. They are your brain trying to interpret what it thinks that chemical wants you to do.
Yeah.
Which means that all of that hallucination of an LSD trip is 100% fabricated. Just like all of that crazy shit that you'll talk about when you're being audited.
Yeah.
You're gonna bring up past lives where you were an alien in a whole other race.
100% all this stuff.
And it's all complete delusion. And once you take LSD, you kind of go, oh wait, I'm making that up. I made this up. I'm making all that. Once you get that fact, it completely does the whole
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. Well, yeah, because it is really just like the neurons in your brain firing in certain ways in response to the drugs. It's not necessarily the drugs. It's just like the receptors that the drugs hit.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And it's your brain just going, I think.
And it's your brain using your own consciousness to like put those things together.
Yeah.
When it's why like nobody is ever going to have the exact same trip.
Oh, never. Yeah, no, you can't. Is what's today's psychology versus yesterday's psychology.
Exactly, and what's your life experience and your, thoughts and ideas and beliefs versus somebody else's.
Exactly. But, you can have shared hallucinations where, like, I've hung out with friends and we all saw the same stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen aliens a few times, but we were on drugs. But anyway,
100%.
Yeah, so we know it's not real, but it's like, so you get...
But it comes from this idea of, like, one person starts talking about it and then everybody's brains kind of like are trying to make sense of it.
Exactly. And we both don't know that like that great question of like, is the red you see the same red that I see?
Yeah, exactly.
So we're both talking about we're seeing a ship, but we might be seeing a completely different ship. We don't actually know.
100% you likely are, because if you're seeing aliens, like the idea of aliens that you have in your head is different,
Yeah, and that was the other cool thing is like the realization that all reality that we have is interpretation.
Wow.
It's right. The brain takes the signal and interprets it. That's why we have things like what's it called? When you look in a mirror, dysmorphia.
Yeah.
That's why we have dysmorphia, because the brain is interpreting
what it's seeing
before it puts it there. It's not just showing.
And it's trying to make sense of it in terms of other people, not in terms of like fact. Like we never know if we're truly seeing the real version of ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Or not.
And that's actually, if you're looking in a mirror or not, that's another fun fact. That is like if you've never actually seen yourself. Except the photo, but the mirror is.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that so cool? I think that's crazy. And I think back to like any memory I had looking in the mirror, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's 100% of fabrications. It's not.
Well, 100%. And even photos, like your brain is recognizing that that's you and trying to make sense of the fact that that's you.
Yeah. It's so funny.
And so it's showing you a reflection of like what your brain thinks of you. Not necessarily, we don't fully know if that's like really the way we look.
Right. Most of the times we don't. I know my hair's a lot nicer now, but it's just like one of those things. And I think that stuff's so interesting. Like, so then we think, okay, we're all going through that. All these people are all going through all that weirdo thing of experience.
Yeah, 100%.
It's so fun.
It is really crazy.
I would do it, but I'm
Yeah, it really is crazy.
Yeah, I think the mind is fascinating. I just like spend all day on like YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like actual PhD people that like know what they're talking about as opposed
Yeah.
to like conspiracy guys that say what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, this is like, let me get the actual facts, let me back this up and test it. But like that, I love stuff like that because
it's so interesting. It really is so interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, and then like I said, I went on with this, you know, November. I taught myself how to walk. And I cured my addiction on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's from mushrooms. But it was like doing the work of like taking this and going through the experience and finding out the psychology I was with. What was all the stuff that I was dragging along with me?
Well, I think if we think about it, like even just spiritually, like in so many different cultures throughout the world, like this idea of psychedelics as medicine is so expansive and goes back so far. So the idea that like in Western mental health or like self-development, we don't see it that way.
Oh yeah.
Is really like limiting. It's really small-minded.
100%. Yeah, no, I love, there's a great therapist out of Dr. Hillary Agro. She's an anthropologist. And that's exactly what she talks about. She's very production. She's like, humans have been using drugs since before we had words, before we had language. People were like, we found in the caveman that we found, the hunter caveman in ice, he had shrooms in his pocket.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, this is something we've been doing since beyond that. And it's part of human growth and development. You know, the things that are new are psychiatric medications. Like this stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And it's interesting to think that we haven't spent much time researching it, given like there is so much history behind it.
Yeah, and benefit. I mean, it's like one of those things of like people take it and it's like, oh, hey, all of a sudden PTSD is cured. All of a sudden addiction is cured. All of a sudden we're not, you know, having the same reactions to things that we used to because...
Well, and it is really like this idea of going internal into your consciousness. And that is like what therapy or any of these things are. It's going internally into your consciousness, just in a different way.
Exactly. And you know, what I like about it is you separate from yourself. You're able to take an exterior viewpoint and go, who am I? What's my me that I'm carrying with me?
Yeah.
Do I want to carry this with me anymore? And you can edit it. And again, the new neurological pathways of kind of saying, this is new. You're able to do something else if you want.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's so interesting.
This has been an interesting car ride. It's been a lot of fun.
I'm glad. I always love talking about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, me too. With all my passengers, not so much.
Yeah, well, it's cool because it's so different. Like, obviously, I interact with so much of this stuff every day, but it's in a different way than I usually interact with it. Which is always fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I think the more we get these tools and understand, like you were saying, it's like these are all rooted in the same things. Turns out most people got the same traumas. Like a lot of a version of the same thing: neglect, abuse, or just uncertainty. You know,
100%. Well, and it's so interesting because we see like people with similar issues, thoughts, behaviors have similar like gene makeups or similar like brain activity than like people without the same stuff, which is always also interesting because I think we don't in like the mental health world acknowledge that enough.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, hey, look, this pattern is the same. The brain pattern.
Yeah. So like, how do we figure that out? How do we put more research into that? How do we like navigate that instead of just like having this information and not doing anything with it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And then, you know, the question also is like, is the brain the actual end all be all? Because, right, you've got that book, you know, The Body Keeps the Score. The body is the thing that keeps the score, not the brain. There are more living things, organisms without a brain than with a brain on planet Earth. And in human development, we develop the body before we develop the brain.
100%. And it's that idea of like top down versus bottom up approaches of like, are we just looking at the brain or are we also considering like the nervous system and the body and all of these things, or this idea that like so much chronic illness comes from things that happen to our body.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like if somebody cracks their ankle, they can't walk, they're depressed because they can't walk. You're not going to give them pills for depression.
Exactly.
It's not biochemical. It's something else going on. So you have to look at the holistic approach.
Or even this idea that like so many, or what I was trying to say is so many chronic illnesses come from trauma.
Yep.
And like fibromyalgia and all that kind of stuff comes from trauma. And it's like trauma really affecting what you're feeling in the body. But like,
I was going to ask you about fiber. So are they showing that it's trauma related?
Yeah. I mean, from what I know, a lot of it is like chronic stress to the body affecting like your nervous system.
Yeah. It turns every signal into a pain signal.
Yeah.
You're constantly on defense. Well, this was a great conversation.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day.
Jordan.